stream on the go. Oh hey look, I'm already live there. And there we go. We are recording. Hello. Hey, you can be in there. There we go. That's not really necessary, but whatever. It's all good. Hello, welcome. Let's see. I need to get my reference images up. Make sure I have everything. Oh good, I did open those. Okay. Hello, Maymay. Okay. I guess I will start with the preamble. Because, you know, people might want to know some stuff if they're watching the VOD later. So, what we're going to be doing tonight is I have these 4 crumbs from Dimension Nails, which I received as PR, and full disclosure, I have an affiliate code with them. Vexed 10 gets you 10% off and gets me a little cut. But yeah, so I have these 4 from the newest collection, which is all Sahara Desert themed, and it's all themed for different animals that are native to the Sahara Desert. So it's an 8-piece collection. I have 4 of them, as mentioned. I'm probably going to end up picking up a couple of the other ones because they're real pretty. And Dimension Nails does very nice cremes. I really like their cremes for nail art. I've been slowly, a few at a time, building a little collection to sort of expand my nail art options. I find that their formula is just really nice for the way that I do nail art. And just it's very workable. It's very self-leveling. It dries fast enough, but not like instantly. So it's kind of a perfect formula for the kind of nail art that I like to do. So I thought I would show it off tonight by actually doing some nail art that I'm going to be doing all hand painted. And I was thinking I might do, like, since I have 4 from the 8-piece collection, I might do the thumb as like more of like a landscape kind of thing with all 4 colors, and then do each nail themed for one of the 4 animals that I have. So I've got Dama Gazelle, Sand Viper, which is a horned viper, really cool looking snake, Saharan cheetah, and desert hedgehog. So I think I might just do one nail sort of inspired by each of those. And yeah, one that's more inspired by the desert itself, using all 4 of them. So to that end, I think where I want to start is with my thumbnail, with using all 4. I'm thinking what I want to do is have like up here do the blue for the sky, and then use the 3 sort of brown to pinky sort of shades to do like layers of sands. I think it would be pretty. And then probably just paint each nail with one of the 4 colors, and then figure out nail art. Either that, or I can do the vanilla almond milk as the base and use these as nail art on top of sort of more of a nude look, because the vanilla almond milk, it's one of the milky jellies, which are like always in stock, or you know, she restocks them when they sell out. So this, it sort of gives you a little more of, it's not quite like a totally naked look, but it's like blurring. It's like having a blurring base on in a lot of ways. At least for me with this color. They've got other colors, obviously. There's like a pinky one that's really good for me for nude. That's more of like a proper nude on me. They've got a cashew one that's slightly brownish tone. Real pale though. So yeah, it's I'm thinking that might be a good option to like do that, not for the thumb, but for the other ones. If I start with this and then do nail art over top, I'm just not sure which route I want to go with that. So I think I'm gonna start with the thumb and sort of go from there and figure out how I want to deal with this. At any rate, I think I'll do in this order. Yeah, I'll do them in this order. You have their peachy one. Do you mean the orange cashew milk? Is that the one you're talking about, Mei? I really like their vegan milk. They're like, yeah, they're called, I think they're called vegan milk jellies or something like that, or plant-based. They're plant-based milk jellies. That's what it is. They're a really nice jelly formula. All right, let's see here. I'm not gonna worry too much about flooding. I'll try to not do too much, but I'm not gonna worry overly about it. If I get a little here, we can just do, oh, I didn't pour acetone for cleanup. Actually, they also sent me a cleanup brush, which was really nice timing because I my previous cleanup brush that I've been using for a year is starting to get a little worn. Yeah, so they sent me this cleanup brush, which is a little wider than ones that I've used before. It's a larger brush than what I'm used to, but I'm finding I'm really liking it actually. So it's it handles nicely. We'll see how it you know, holds up over time. I've only been using it for like a week or so now, maybe 2 weeks. Certainly it's in perfect condition right now. But generally speaking, I find with reasonable care, my cleanup brushes last a good year before they start to show any kind of significant wear. Orange pecan milk, that's the one that you have. Which one's the cashew? I can't remember now which one's the cashew. Is the cashew the brown one? I don't know. Anyway. I have the strawberry soy, I have the orange pecan, I have the, is it blackberry something? Blackberry soy? I don't know. There's a blueberry one. I can't remember which ones are which plant-based milks, but they're all real good little milk jellies. I like them a lot. I think they do a nice job with those. All right. Okay. See what I mean though about like how nice these cremes are? Like this is one coat and I feel like I could probably get away without doing a second coat. I will, because, you know, I can see there's a tiny, whoops, oh, also I just dinged it. There's a tiny little bit of a thinner spot there and like it's maybe not 100% opaque in that one coat. But yeah, I find most of their cremes are 1 to 2 coats with any kind of reasonable application. And they just apply really nicely in my experience. So, certainly all the ones I've gotten from them so far, I've been very, very pleased with how they apply. think I might do some more layers with a finer brush. What do you think? I feel like it wants more variation in between. We'll see. So yeah, I was thinking about how I wanted to do the other nails, and whether I wanted to do like more abstract-ish designs that are inspired by the different animals, or whether I wanted to sort of try to be a little bit more representative. Because it could be kind of fun to, you know, try and reproduce, for instance, like the sand viper's scale pattern, or the cheetah. Obviously, there's the spots. The dama gazelle, I don't know what I would do for that. Maybe an eye or something. The desert hedgehog, I feel like that would have to be the spines. But yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of thinking about how I want to do that. And if I am going to, do more like somewhat realistic-ish representations, do I then want to have the white jelly base, so it's more of like a nude background for that? All right, I'm gonna try adding in some like other like layers to this, so it's kind of got more, I don't know, more contour, more structure to the sand. Because this is like kind of building up dunes here, right? I think that's sort of what I'm going for. I don't know, what do we think? Is that too much? What if I were to blend it out a little bit with the Saharan cheetah? I do need to put a little bit more of the sand viper around the bottom here. Like I feel like I don't know where I think this is the core thing, is I don't know where I want to draw the line between minimalist sort of representation of things and a somewhat more realistic illustrative approach. And I think that's sort of the core problem that I'm having, or the core thing that I need to answer before I can go too far. The only reason your cleanup brush has lasted this long is because you've swapped to doing your own press-ons. Yeah, you definitely don't need to use a cleanup brush as often if you're doing press-ons. For sure. Although I still find myself using them a little bit when I do occasionally. I don't often do press-ons anymore, but when I have in the past, I do end up still using the cleanup brush a little bit. But yeah, so to anybody who arrived after the very beginning, this is a new collection, or it's half of a new collection from Dimension Nails, who make freaking awesome cremes. And cremes that I adore for nail art. And they sent me half of the collection in PR, so that I could just play with them. And I am so stoked that they did, because I freaking love their cremes. So yeah, so these were received as PR, and they are available on the site now. I think they launched like a week ago. I'm pretty sure it was last week that they launched. And yeah, just real nice cremes. Oh boy. These ones are all inspired by animals that are endemic to the Sahara Desert. Which of course is an extremely large area. Lots of animals to choose from. Kind of, I wonder how she managed to keep it to only 8, because holy heck are there ever a lot of cool ass animals in the Sahara Desert. I'm gonna bring a little bit more. Seems like I'm kind of leaning more toward a slightly illustrative look here without having quite decided to do so, but apparently part of my brain has decided to do so. There we go. Yeah, and I do have an affiliate code with them, with Dimension Nails, so if you decide to pick up some of these, then you can use that. It gets you 10% off if you use code VEXT10. But, you know, no obligation. Do what you want to do. There are other people that are awesome that have codes as well. So, you know, you can always use those. I won't mind. I just think more people should get these freaking awesome cremes, because I really like them, especially if you do a lot of nail art. They're definitely like my top 3 brands for nail art cremes, I would say. All right, do I want to do anything more with that? Maybe just a little tiny bit. Maybe just a little tiny bit more. I might want to actually add a little tiny bit of thinner onto this here. So, hello Marie, yes, you see a landscape. Well, you don't now, but you did when you first got here. I'm just doing I'm warming up with a little landscape on my thumb using all 4 of the cremes and sort of talking about the collection a little bit. And I'll hop onto the website briefly as well and sort of go over the other cremes that they have, just so people sort of know what the full collection is. I believe it's 100% animals or animal inspired, which I really like. Dimension Nails does a lot of animal inspired stuff. A lot of their sort of focus is you know, protecting and preserving wildlife. The owner is vegan and cares a lot about environmental concerns and the rights of animals to get along and not get, you know, unduly messed up by humans, which I think is pretty good. It's a good way to approach things. Try not to mess things up too much for other things that are alive. I like that. All right. Marie, you have corgis on your nails. That does sound exciting. Okay, I think I do want to pull a little bit of the lighter color down into here, just to sort of bring a little more variation in the colors. Just do some, like, as though it's just a little bit of sun sort of hitting the tops of some dunes. We still want to keep it, you know, relatively simple. I don't want this to become super, super detailed. I think that's probably enough. Rights of animals to be alive. Yes, Ray. I think that things have the right to, you know, live relatively unmolested for the most part, you know? animals, people. I always think we don't need to fuck with them as much as we do. Okay, so I think I've decided that for the hedgehog and the viper designs, I want to do an almond milk background, so it's like a nude background. And then for the cheetah and gazelle ones, I think I'm going to do an all over, because I think I'm going to do maybe an eye for the gazelle and the spots for the cheetah, possibly. Or I could do an eye for both of those. That could be interesting, looking in different directions. The viper, I think I want to actually do a little bit more illustrative viper. And the hedgehog, I think I want to do like some spines coming up, like a close-up of some spines. I think that could be fun. What's on my other hand? It's a Bee's Knees Evolve Today, I think. It's real sheer. It's sheerer than I remembered it being. Sheerer than I wanted today, but you know, that's how it goes. All right, so I think I'm going to do this one and this one. So I'm going to do Desert Hedgehog and Sand Viper. And then I can do Cheetah and Gazelle. I think I will be happy with that. So I'm going to start with, as I say, this one's not part of the collection. This is the vanilla almond milk, which is one of the jellies that I have from them, one of their plant-based milk jellies. I like them as a background for sort of semi-negative nails, like negative space nails, because it's like, gives you a little bit more of a neutral base to work with. Yeah, I'm a fan. The nail stand is back. Yeah, I'm trying to like figure out ways that this can sort of work for me. Okay, and then Cheetah and Gazelle. So I'm gonna go ahead and put a coat of Cheetah on here and a coat of Gazelle on here. And then we'll go from there with the nail art stuff. And hopefully we can get through it all in a reasonable amount of time. My goal is to make this not be a 2-hour stream. That's one of my goals. My other goals may end up colliding with that goal catastrophically. We'll see. So that is one coat of Saharan Cheetah. So you see what I mean about like their cremes are often one and pretty much never more than 2 coats. Like, I wasn't putting it on particularly thick. Like, I'm not doing anything different than I do. Like, I'm not a super, super thin painter either. I know there are people who paint very, very thin coats, but, you know, I feel like I do fairly moderate coats for most stuff. And, yeah, it's like, you could get away with 1 coat if you're painting very carefully with this. I would generally always do 2, partly just because I prefer a slightly thicker mani, but yeah. A mighty good creme, that's right. They make mighty good cremes. Big fan. Okay, now, I'm gonna go ahead and top coat this one while I'm thinking about it. The other thing that I need to decide is, do I want to mattify these when they're done? And I have a feeling I'm going to want to mattify them when they're done. It's just a feeling. But All right, let's hope I don't smudge too badly here because I didn't put any no smudge on. I'm just, oh yeah, I got a little smudging there, not too bad. Probably should have put a no smudge, but whatevs. I did manage to flood, of course, because that is how I roll. So yeah, so last week, I did my live stream on a different day because I had a friend visiting, and she flew in on the Thursday night, so obviously Thursday night live stream was not going to work. And this week, tomorrow I have an HOA annual meeting and a mammogram. So it's going to be real exciting. Tomorrow's going to be a super exciting day. So much fun. Okay. Let's start with my desert hedgehog. Actually, I need to let these dry for a couple more minutes. So I want to just actually go onto the website and look up the other colors. So the full collection is the 4 that I have here. I'm bringing it forward because I also have the YouTube camera. I'm making a mess. I'm making a mess, y'all. I have the YouTube camera up here, so it needs to be able to see as well. Yeah, so I have the 4. They have the 4 that I have here, which are the Sand Viper, Saharan Cheetah, Desert Hedgehog, and Dama Gazelle. But then they also have Desert Monitor, like the monitor lizard, which is like a... It looks like it's a dark, like charcoal with maybe a slight purple cast. I'm gonna have to look up some more swatches of that because it looks like a really nice, almost black creme that's like kind of cool looking. They have Desert Warthog, which is like a mustardy sort of borderline yellow, but more orangey brownish. It's like, it makes me think of ginger and cinnamon and warm spices. They have Jerboa. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. It's Jerboa. It's like a little jumpy rodent. You know what I mean? They're like a mouse looking kind of thing, but they're super, super jumpy. They got really long legs, and they're super jumpy like little kangaroos, but they're like itty bitty. Anyway, whatever that is, I don't know if it's pronounced Jerboa or not, but someone will correct me if I'm wrong, I'm sure. And then the 8th one that the 4th that I don't have is Nubian Ibex. And oh, I didn't tell you, Jerboa is like a dusty lavender color. Yeah, and then Nubian Ibex is like it's a dusty rose that's like more like to the purpley pinky side than Dama Gazelle. Like next to each other, this one looks decidedly more orangey peachy. Ray kangaroo gerbils? Yeah, basically they're like kangaroo gerbils. They're super cute. If you look them up, Jerboa, they're freaking adorable little things. Anyway, so yeah, that's the full collection of 8 pieces. Okay, and what else did I want to do? Yeah, I was going to look up a little reference image here for the Desert Hedgehog. Okay. So I'm kind of just looking at like their squirt little faces, and they basically just look like hedgehogs, which is adorable. So I think what I want to do is sort of do a close-up of some spines. So I'm just gonna bring up a photo real close up here. Oh yeah. All right. So I think, and I pulled my bottle of Black Rhino because I think that's going to be useful with this as well. That's not from this collection. It's from an earlier collection. I bought that one, but yeah, I thought it would be useful to have a black for this. And I think especially for the hedgehog one I'm going to... Okay, well, how about you start up again then? Hopefully I didn't miss too much. I wish that my camera would, like, make a noise or something. Do something besides just, like, abruptly put a thing up on the screen above my head that I can't see. It's very annoying. All right, so hedgehog is going to be this one. And I think what I'm going to do, actually, it might be easier for me to do it this way. So their little spines, I think they chose this blue because their little spines have a sort of a bluish cast to them in the dark parts of them. So I'm thinking how I want to do this is I want to lean into that. But I'm going to add some black, and I think I'm going to use some of the other colors to get some dimension out of this. So we'll start with the blue, the desert hedgehog blue. I'm going to do just a bunch of spines go in different directions because, boy, hedgehogs really have some spine chaos going on. Their little spines go in all kinds of directions. So I think I'm just gonna be a little random with that, and that should work out all right for a hedgehog. And if there are any hedgehog experts in the chat, don't tell me what I'm doing wrong. Or tell me hedgehog facts. Anybody know any hedgog facts that I can read out to the class? I'm guessing probably not. All right. Let's go one over here. You wonder if it's blue for Sonic the Hedgehog? I don't think so. I feel like she wouldn't have done that. Like, I'm sure she has some nerdy tendencies, but I don't think that that would be the choice for a Sahara Desert themed collection. I think it's more because of the bluish tinge to their spines. That's my guess. She does tend to stick to colors found in nature, so for the most part, and colors found on the animals for these collections. They're not always necessarily the most obvious color that you would think of right away. Oh, it looks like Kat's got some hedgehog facts for us. A hedgehog's quills come off under certain circumstances. Much like we lose our baby teeth, young hedgehogs shed their baby quills, which are replaced with adult ones. Okay, well, that's adorable. They're grumpy when they're molting. That makes sense. I feel like I'd probably be grumpy if I was molting. So you gotta be careful. You gotta be gentle with the baby hogs. You're saying there are no blue hedgehogs in nature, and I'm not disagreeing with you. What I'm telling you is that in the right lighting condition, much like many other animals, blues or blacks can appear blue. And so it appears to have a blue cast, probably from a waxy coating on the quill, or something like that is often how things work. So I don't think that it's intended to be like, this hedgehog is blue. I think it's intended to be like, this hedgehog has a slight bluish cast to its quills under certain lighting conditions. So, you know, like I looked up a bunch of photos of them, and some of them do have a decidedly bluish cast in the black section of the quill. So I can see where she's coming from on it. I do not believe it is a Sonic reference. I could be wrong. You can ask her. Sonic is real. You know, the problem with Sonic, for me, is that I have watched entirely too much Drawfee content. And if you have watched enough Drawfee content, you will understand exactly why that is a problem. And if you haven't, it's fine. You don't need that brain rot. You're fine. Just pretend you don't know. Pretend you heard nothing. It will be better. All right, there we go. It's not a neurochemical cat. Sonic Hedgehog is a gene. But yeah, there is a Sonic Hedgehog gene. There's actually several other associated genes that are also named for that. But yeah, it's a scary gene to mess up. That is correct. You don't want to screw up that gene. Things go very wrong if you screw up that gene. I can't recall exactly what it does, but it's one of the like real core developmental genes that if you mess it up, things go real bad. But yeah, I didn't focus on animal stuff. So and bacteria don't have Sonic Hedgehog gene. So I forget the specifics. All right. So I think this should be, I'm pretty happy with this. As obviously not a super realistic representation, but like if you look at photos, close-up photos of their spines, the desert hedgehog, this feels pretty similar to what I'm seeing on the photos. So I think I'm pretty happy with this. Keep it nice and simple. These little hedgehog spines. Okay. Meme, you missed the brain rot. I was just talking about Sonic and Drawfee. If you watch Drawfee, you already know why. Okay. Next, I'm gonna do the horned, it's called the Sahara Desert Horned Viper, or sometimes it's just called a horned sand viper. It's a really cool looking sneck. So we're going to use this color, and I think we're going to use some of the Saharan cheetah as well for this. Okay. Let me just do a little cleanup here. You can't look at desert hedgehogs anymore? Yeah, that's fair. Thankfully, I do not have trypophobia, but I can see that being a thing. Okay, let's go with a sort of a I don't know. 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 think I'm gonna start up here with the, actually let's have the snake looking in. We'll have the snake looking in. Oop, I just almost stuck my hand in that. Wouldn't be the first time. I do it almost every single time I do my nails. Managed to stick my hand in this thing. But we're gonna try to do better today. All right, we'll do the head, and then whoop, bring this around, and come down here. And then my iPad is what I'm using for my reference images on my lap, and I think it just gave me a message that the battery is low. Yep, low battery. All right, well, that's okay. I think I can afford to unplug my phone for a little while and plug in my iPad. Hang on a second here. Oh boy, hold up. You stuck your elbow into the polish palette? That's kind of impressive. Good job, May. Yeah, Marie, the Vipers are beautiful, aren't they? I don't know that I'm going to be able to do them justice, but I'm going to attempt it. All right. I think that's kind of the initial framework. I'm actually going to bring that a little more up this way. And I'm going to bring in some of this Saharan cheetah color because I want to be able to show their pattern a little bit. And it's real hard to do that if you only have one color that you're using. So I'm going to do the Saharan cheetah as like the fill, and then use Sand Viper as the pattern color. I think that will work reasonably well. That's what I'm thinking. Hopefully it works reasonably well. I'm seeing the photos. Not all of them have a really obvious set of horns, which makes me wonder if this is like a sex-linked trait. It's often the case that, like, you know, if an animal has horns or tusks or something, antlers, etc., you know, it's often just the males that have them, which makes me wonder if maybe that's the case with these guys, or if it's like could also be different. Like ages. Could be that the juveniles don't have them or something, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was a sex-linked trait. All right, so they have a little bit of a line behind their eye, and it looks like there's some like these kind of stripies. And then I'm seeing some larger spots down the back. Oh, we might need to thin this a little bit. It's been sitting out for a moment. Let's add a little thinner. You all know the drill by now. And get these spots coming around more towards the center line as we come around the back and swing this around. Trying to do a little bit of perspective here. It's not easy. It's way too tiny for this nonsense. All right, come on. All right, it looks like some of them also have some like smaller spots along the sides. So we'll add those. And then I think I'm gonna add the horns. Why the heck not? Gonna add the horns. Or at least I'll sort of hint at one of them. Looks like they're sort of toward the front. And then I'm gonna add some detail using black rhino, just to have a little bit of indication of where the eye is and such. May, your class is talking about psilocybin. That's exciting. All right, it looks like the eye is kind of like fairly far forward on the face on these guys. Which is interesting. Bum, 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 bum. And then we should have a tiny little nostril right about here. There we go. I think that's all I want to do for him. I think that's going to be our cute little viper. Although I am not entirely happy with how thin I made this part. So let's just give him a little bulk back here. Thicken him up a little, because I made this other part a little bit on the thick side, and then this part now seems too thin. And now his head looks too thin. Oh geez, we're doing that thing that you do when you're drawing a circle and you go a little bit off, and so you got to do a little bit more on the other side, and then you got to go back and do a little bit more on the first side again, and then next thing you know, your circle is huge. We're doing that. All right, we're gonna add a tiny little bit of shadow under here to help define the head and stop the cycle of embiggening violence. There we go. There we go. Now he's done. There's my little snack friend. All right. Now, next thing is going to be the Saharan cheetah and the Dama gazelle. So, for these guys, whoop, clean off my little polish pad there, my stamper head. For these guys, I wanted to do, so the Dama gazelle has some really interesting coloration. Do I want to do that, or do I want to do the eye? I guess this is the question. I feel like the coloration is maybe more interesting. That would definitely be a more simplistic, a more minimal version. I think in the interest of not being here until 10:30, I'm gonna go with the more minimal version. Am I gonna be able to do that with the jelly? Let's find out if we can, if the jelly is, if the milk jelly is opaque enough to make this work, or if I need to add a thicker jelly to it, or a thicker white creme to it. So Dama gazelles have this cute little like sort of necktie kind of thing, or they're wearing a little bandana is more like it. They're wearing a little bandana under their chin. They got like this sort of spot that looks like this, which I think is pretty cute. So this is basically, I've turned my nail into a Dama gazelle's neck. Make that just a little bit wider. And And bring that out a little more there. There we go. And then it starts to sort of, it's like a almost gradient thing that happens here. So I'm gonna try and do that with the brush. I think I might be able to get away with it because it is fur. So it doesn't have to be a perfectly smooth gradient. It can be more of a furry gradient. All right, let's see here. Yeah, I think this is working out all right. I'm gonna need a little bit more. Come on. Up at the top here. Get the density a little better up here. So it's clear that it's working toward a more sort of clean white area at the top. Yeah. That's kind of cute. Not entirely happy with how I did this part here. I feel like this is like too thick. I might need some thinner for that. I might need to just add some thinner and sort of, let's see if we can do it this way. It's like a little bit too, I made it a little bit too sort of bubbly and thick there. Let's see if we can repair this by thinning out the area and then bringing more of a brush strokey look in here. I think that kind of works. I don't know, did I make it worse or is it better? I can't tell. I think it's fine. I think it's fine. All right, and then, so that's gonna be it for the gazelle. I mean, I think that's sort of like, if you know what a dama gazelle looks like, that you're gonna look at that and go, oh yeah, that's the dama gazelle. What I like about the dama gazelle, I may be saying it wrong, but it's most of the way to damn gazelle. That damn gazelle, which is fun. Okay. Last but not least, cheetah. Saharan cheetah. I don't see anything that sets it apart from other cheetahs. Are there types of cheetahs? There's got to be types of cheetahs, right? Does a Saharan cheetah look any different from any other cheetah? Or is it just that it's a cheetah that lives in the Sahara Desert? I don't know. Now, do I just want to do spots for the cheetah? I think I do. I think we're just going to keep it real simple and just do spots for the cheetah. God damn a gazelle is a phrase you want to claim. You know what, Marie? It's all yours. It is yours, my friend. You can have it. You can use it as much as you want. I'm giving it to you. Okay, so I'm gonna use my black rhino to do the spots, since the base color is already pretty much gazelle colored, or pretty much cheetah colored rather. So I'll take my black rhino. Again, the black rhino is not from this collection. It is from a previous collection. These 4 that I'm working with are all from a new collection that just came out like a week or so ago that is all inspired by animals that live in the Sahara Desert. So they're all cremes, the same formula, and just a really lovely autumn colored, sort of desert colored collection. I do think that a lot of these are going to be good outside of autumn as well. I can definitely see a lot of this working very well for spring as well. And of course, just nail art in general, which to me, there's no like season for colors in nail art, you know, like I'm not really a seasonal wearer to begin with, but especially when it comes to nail art, I feel like the art dictates what colors you need. And so while I might choose a background color that's a little bit sort of more seasonally appropriate, for the most part, I don't really think about seasonal colors when it comes to my nail art cremes. I'm sort of making the spots bigger as we go down the nail here. I'm thinking about sort of the variation of the spot size, because they tend to get, I think they get larger on the back and smaller toward the sides. And at least on the images that I briefly looked at, which I am no longer looking at because I'm painting, I think they were also kind of getting closer together. So, although that might just be that the centers might be the same distance apart and the borders just expand out to the sides. I don't know. I'm not a cheetah scientist, y'all. Okay. I think this is working out all right. This is kind of cute, eh? I'm definitely going to pick up a couple more from this collection, though. These ones were gifted, the ones that I'm working with here. But I'm thinking I want to pick up at least the Desert Monitor and what's the other one? The Warthog. I think it's a Desert Warthog. That's the like sort of yellowy. It's not really yellow. I'm not sure how to describe the color that it is, because it's really not. It's truly not yellow, but it's like cinnamonish, less brown than cinnamon. I don't know. It's like browner than sunflowers, but not brown enough to call it brown. You know what I mean? This is getting stringy. I've been working with the same dot for too long. All right, we're almost there. We're almost there. Just want to do a tiny little bit along here. Oh, 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 this is the danger. This is the danger. There we go. Okay. I'm actually kind of amazed I managed to get that much out of it before it started to gum up. All right, there we go. Yeah, it's like a real deep mustard. Marie, all cheetah are the same. They live in a variety of habitats such as savannas in the Serengeti and mountain ranges in the Sahara and hilly desert terrain. But they're all the same, like the same species. Dotting tool for spots? Yeah, you could use a dotting tool for spots, but I kind of wanted it to have uneven edges, like as though it's the fur, which is harder to do with dotting tool. So, but you could have, for sure. You could definitely do that. Let me look up that color again. Yeah, Desert Warthog. It's definitely like a dark mustardy tone here. I don't know if this will work or not because it's like, oh, whoops. There we go. Does that kind of works. Oh boy. My iPad is greasy, but yeah, you can see it's like a real dark mustardy, almost caramel, but it's like slightly yellower than caramel. I don't know. Am I going to outline the spots? No, because cheetahs don't have outlines on their spots. You're thinking of leopards, I think. Cheetahs just have spots. Leopards have fancy spots. I'm looking at them. My camera actually told me that time. See, I don't know. I don't know how it decides what it's gonna do. Yeah, if you actually go onto the website and take a look at it, it's sort of similar in some ways to Saharan cheetah, but it's like yellower and more saturated. It's like a much more intense, sort of yellowier version of this. So yeah, I'm gonna probably grab that and Desert Monitor. I don't know about Nubian Ibex or Jerboa. I might skip those two. Just because I already have colors similar to those. But yeah, I don't have anything quite like Desert Warthog or Desert Monitor. Oh, you were thinking of Bengal cats? Yeah. Yeah, cheetah is more toffee, you're right. Yep. I think I'm done. I'm gonna top coat these. But yeah, I would say if you're in the market for some good cremes, I feel like you can't really go wrong with Dimension Nails. And like, yeah, okay, I have an affiliate code, but like, you don't have to use it. I'm still gonna tell you they're awesome whether you use my affiliate code or not. It's just, they just make good polish. So if you're in the market, I would definitely say check out their site because they have some real nice stuff. And I also really love their milk jellies. I did use one of them here, the vanilla almond milk. But I have almost all the colors. I think I'm missing banana and cashew. I think those are the only two colors that I don't have from the plant-based milk jellies. Probably end up grabbing those at some point in time because I end up using the milk jellies a lot for nail art. They make a real good base for nail art. And they're also just real pretty to squish together. But yeah. All right, let's see if I can do this without smudging anything. Hang on, we're gonna go real crazy on the top coat here to avoid smudging that black. Because y'all know how black loves to smudge. It is just a big fan of getting everywhere. Okay. Do I want to risk it with this one though? Oh boy. Do we live dangerously? I'm gonna live dangerously. I'm gonna do this without using a no smudge. May says, fun fact, cheetahs that live in zoos and sanctuaries may end up having anxiety and require an emotional support animal to be their companions. Yeah, I've heard about there's certain breeds of dogs that apparently are good for being emotional support animals for big cats, which I think is real cute but also real sad that's a necessary thing. And like, here's the thing. I think that when zoos are places for rescue animals that are, actively engaged in rescue, rehabilitation, and conservation, I think they can do real good work. And unfortunately, the history of zoos is not great in that regard. I think a lot of them are doing better now. But yeah, I have some conflicted feelings about animals in zoos. I love going to see them, but yeah, it can really be a challenge. Marie, you said don't risk it, and you know what? I did smudge a little bit, but I will argue that A, this is very little smudging, and B, It's fur. It's fur. It's okay. It's okay for it to be a little smudgy. It's fur. It's fine. Ray, you follow a channel on YouTube. The guy runs a sanctuary and regularly sleeps in the cheetah enclosure with them. Okay, I don't know about that. That sounds like some crazy talk. I don't know that I would want to sleep in an enclosure with some cheetahs, no matter how badly those cheetahs need company. But, you know, good on him, I guess. Yeah, the smudge adds to the fur effect. I think so. At least that's what I'm going to tell myself. Thank you for backing me up on that, Witchy Caresses. Cheetahs have messed up genetic pools? Yeah. I mean, that makes sense, right? Like, any animal that, especially like if you're talking about animals that either are apex predators and already have lower numbers, pardon me, regardless of human activity, and then have been just, you know, had their populations completely decimated by human activity, they're going to have genetic issues for sure. The gene pool is very small, and they tend to have a lot of inbreeding because, you know, they'll have tiny little pockets, you know, that are far apart from each other. And so they don't get to have their usual everybody meet up at the watering hole and get funky kind of opportunities. And that's a huge problem genetically. And so you do need breeding programs. And the easiest way to have successful breeding programs is in zoos. This is why I have complex feelings about zoos, because it's really, you know, it's not a black or white issue, and I think, you know, there's some fundamental problems with containing animals, but also it's in some cases the only way that we can undo some of the damage that we've done. So, you know, some trade-off. You would attempt to pet a cheetah if you could. I don't recommend attempting to pet a cheetah. I think maybe if there's like a baby cheetah and it's used to having people around, which is not a situation that I would want to exist, but if it does, okay, maybe then you can pet the cheetah, but, you know, I don't really want that to be a thing that you can pet cheetahs. I think it's not great when animals that are supposed to be apex predators are used to being petted by humans. But hey, what do I know? All right, we're a little past the hour mark. We've managed to do a whole mani of these, I think, kind of cute Sahara Desert inspired nail art. So they're friend-shaped, yeah. They are friend-shaped, I agree. But, you know, so are meese, and you don't want to pet a moose either. So not if you've got half a brain. All right, I'm gonna go. Final look at everything here. So I used all 4 colors here. This is this blue here, the blue section is only 1 coat. Actually the pink as well, or not really pink, but the Dama Gazelle stripe up here, this is also only 1 coat. These two got a little bit more than 1 coat, but just to give you an idea of just how opaque these are, you're definitely not going to need more than 2 coats for these, ever. And I find that to be the case, generally speaking, with Dimension Nails cremes. I don't think I've ever needed 2 coats of any of their cremes, so a lot of them are pretty much opaque or, you know, totally opaque in one. And then, yeah, so we've got the Saharan Cheetah, which I used as the base color for this nail, and the inspo for the art on it. This one here is Desert Hedgehog. I just used a little bit of it to make the little hedgehog spines. It also has some of the Saharan cheetah and also some black rhino from a previous collection. And the base is the vanilla almond milk, again from a previous collection. This one is Dama Gazelle. It's the base color. It's a single coat of Dama Gazelle with some accents with the vanilla almond milk. And that one's based off of the throat markings on a Dama Gazelle. And then finally we have Sand Viper, which I used Sand Viper and Saharan Cheetah as the colors for the Viper itself, with a little bit of the black rhino accent and again the vanilla almond milk as the base. So that's the 4 that I received as PR from Dimension Nails. The full collection contains 8 cremes. I'm confident that the other 4 are just as good as these ones. So yeah, go check them out. And yeah, if you do decide to pick them up, you can save 10% on them on your purchase with my affiliate code, which is VEXT10. You can find that in my bio as well. All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.